I'm very excited about today's episode because I'm going to be sharing with you one of the go-to things I share with people when they come to me saying that they're really struggling with cleaning routines and knowing where to begin when they're trying to keep their house in order. And that is daily home anchor tasks, or I also like to refer to it as the acronym HAT, H-A-T, just like the old-fashioned homemaking schedules that used to guide our grandmothers back in the day. They're simple, repetitive tasks that set the tone for each day and help you feel productive even on the busy days. I find that it's very grounding. So whether you're balancing homemaking and business or focusing solely on your home and maybe homeschooling your children, anchor tasks bring structure and a sense of accomplishment to your week. So let's dive in. Are you an overwhelmed stay-at-home mom struggling to keep your home organized and cozy while balancing endless tasks? Do you feel like no matter how much you do, it's never enough? Are you constantly comparing your life and home to others on social media? If you're feeling lost in your role as a homemaker and mother, you're not alone. Welcome to Modern Homemaker Mom, the podcast that provides simple homemaking strategies rooted in biblical principles. Each episode offers real-life solutions to help you confidently create a peaceful, inviting home. From managing your time and priorities to decluttering, organizing, and building healthy habits, you'll learn how to organize your home and life with purpose. I'm Jynae, a wife, mom, and homemaker just like you. I know what it feels like to be overwhelmed by the daily demands of running a household while trying to nurture your family and maintain a sense of peace in your home. Through my own journey of learning homemaking skills and living out my calling as a wife and mother, I have found freedom in embracing these roles with joy. Now I'm here to help other stay-at-home moms do the same without the stress. It's time to confidently step into your calling and create a home that reflects God's love. Let's build a home that you and your family love, one step at a time. To start off this episode, I just wanted to read a quick review left by one of our listeners, Lauren Elise. She says, "I'm only a couple episodes in and I'm loving this podcast already. This is such a needed podcast in this day and time. Looking forward to listening to each episode, Jynae. Thank you for creating it." If you're also enjoying this show, I would love to hear from you. Take 1 minute out of your day and go ahead on Apple Podcasts and leave me a 5-star written review. All right, so to dive into this whole concept of home anchor tasks, like I said in the beginning of this episode in the intro, this is kind of an approach like our grandmothers used to use. You know, you think about Little House on the Prairie specifically. It's a series that I love and cannot hardly wait to be able to read it to my kids. But in Little House in the Big Woods, specifically that first book, they talk about having a wash day and a sew day, a bake day, and then a rest day, and all the things on different days. And so I was like, how can I apply this to my life in a way that I can eliminate overwhelm? Because as I've said in past episodes, I am the queen of overwhelm. I like to tell people, whether they believe it or not, I have a handle on it now, so I know how to tackle it. But that doesn't mean that I still don't get overwhelmed from time to time. So the difference is now I have a plan of action. I know why I'm overwhelmed in the first place, and then I know usually how to get out of the overwhelmed feeling. And so this system is something I came up with, and I've been working on it, tweaking it, playing around with it, and practicing it for a couple months now, and I have to say it's really been a game changer. I think the biggest reason that it's really helped out in my personal life is because this concept of home anchor tasks, it's a modern and flexible approach with structure to it, and it's customizable to meet our needs or your specific needs, because a specific task that may be important to me in my own home might not be important to you, vice versa. Naturally, I'm a very organized person. In fact, that's like one of the reasons I have this podcast to begin with, because I was thinking, okay, what do people come to me for? What am I really good at naturally? And organization is just something I've always been good at, and I thrive off of having routines and schedules. Always have, always will. This is just how I was raised, simply because my mom is the same way, and so it played a big effect on why I enjoy it so much. But that being said, when I don't have proper systems and routines put in place, I feel squirrel-brained. If you've ever heard that before, it's something that my mom and I say. Not sure if other people know what it means, but when we're feeling like all over the place, we call it squirrely. So I feel squirrel-brained and I get distracted super easily. And I can be one of those people who can put my head down and be hyper-focused on something, but if I don't have what I need to be focusing on right in front of me, I have a hard time getting to that point to begin with. When Jynae has a plan of action put in place, Jynae thrives. But when Jynae's day is up in the air with nothing really set in stone or no outline to follow, oh well. then we end up running in circles and become super counterproductive. Not what we're wanting, right? So I used to be the person who hated to just have to go with the flow, quote unquote, or just ride the wind, as some may say. But when I had a baby 8 months ago, that hit me like a train, because you know how babies are, they're on their own schedules. No matter how intentional we try to be about setting up routines, when it comes to babies and young children, or honestly just children in general, you have to learn to be flexible, or else you're setting yourself up for failure. So back in the day, I could plan out my day where at 3 o'clock I knew I was doing this, and at 4:30 I knew I was doing this. Well, now I don't know if I have 20 minutes when Oakland goes down for a nap, or if I have an hour and a half. So it's all about learning how to create the structure around the flexibility. So over the last 8 months since having Oakland, God has really grown me in this area, and I have found systems that work for me and my family, even while having a young baby. And you want to know what the best part of this routine is it can be flexible. I know so many people out there talk about this system and that habit and that routine. And I've been in your shoes, where I have scoured the internet searching for something that I could follow that would help give me some daily structure, only to find out that I couldn't keep up with it for more than a day or so because insert baby. Those schedules that have your day planned out minute by minute, even set time blocks, they weren't working for me. And so this is why I became so determined to find a routine that would work for my life, that would be flexible enough that I could have structure in my day, or a plan of action, like I like to call it, while also being flexible enough to change as needed due to the baby or unexpected things that come up in life. And while there are many systems and routines I can hardly wait to share with you, today we're just going to dive into one of those systems, and that's called daily home anchor tasks, like I've already mentioned. So let's dive into what that even means. So anchor tasks are core, consistent tasks you assign to specific days of the week. They act as a foundation for your routine, giving each day a sense of purpose and helping you feel productive even when life gets busy. Like I said earlier, these anchor tasks are very grounding. When I wake up in the day, I have a plan of action. I know where I need to be focusing my energy first thing. And the purpose behind these anchor tasks is, just like I said earlier, the traditional homemaking schedules of Monday wash day, Saturday bake day, you name it, like all the things that our grandmothers used to do. And it gives us a simple, achievable focus every single day. There are things that are non-negotiables. So you don't just choose one day not to do them and then the next you do 3 of them. No, you're going to do them every single day. And when I say anchor tasks, I'm not talking about a mountain of a list. Anchor tasks are 2 to 3 tasks that you do a day in terms of home, either cleaning or home tasks that you do. And then basically, if nothing else goes as planned in your day, you at least know that you've completed that key task of the day. If your child got sick at 4 p.m, if you are following your anchor task system that I'm giving you today, that I'm gonna explain to you how we're gonna go about this, you already know that earlier in the day, I took care of my 2 anchor tasks of the day, which could have been washing your husband's laundry and taking out the garbages. So, since this is all new to you, let's look at the steps for how you can set up daily anchor tasks in your own home. So, step number 1 is you need to first identify your non-negotiables. So, what I need you to do is get a piece of paper and a pen and write out at the top of your head what can you think of are the cleaning to-dos that you have, whether you have a system in place or not. And if you really don't have a system yet, I'm going to give you some ideas, and I'll share what my home anchor task system looks like personally for me. So that'll help give you an idea of what you need. Now, these aren't tasks that you do every single day. That's a whole different system that I have that we'll get into later. These are more so tasks that are weekly projects. Things like cleaning the bathroom, taking out the garbages, washing your laundry, washing your husband's laundry, those kind of things. Like, I don't personally wash my bathroom toilet every single day. Maybe you do, but I don't. So that's a weekly task. So when I say you need to write out a list of the tasks you do in your home, I just want you to look at the weekly tasks that you do. So to give you an idea of what my home anchor tasks look like, I'm going to share with you what I have assigned for the tasks each day. Keep in mind that one of the days of the week is a rest, or Sabbath as I like to call, and we keep that on Saturday. So I don't do this every single day. Like, I don't have chores every single day. There is an exception of my Saturday rest day. So Sunday is the first day of the week in our home. My anchor tasks of that day are take out the garbage, do the baby's laundry, and dust. Like I said, we want to keep these anchor tasks to only 2 to 3 tasks a day. And that's how we're going to stay on track. That's how we're going to make it achievable for us to actually accomplish these tasks. And it's also how we're going to not get overwhelmed by having too much on our plate. Monday is wash towels and vacuum the house. Tuesday is water the houseplants, wash our bedding, and then I also wash my husband's laundry. He is in construction, so he actually goes through quite a bit of laundry with the dirty work that he's in with the gravel and dirt, so I have to do his laundry actually twice a week. Then moving on to Wednesday, I wash my own personal laundry. I wipe down the kitchen appliances, so the fridge, microwave, stove, garbage can, those kind of things. Oh, dishwasher as well. And then I also do a deep tidy or declutter. And I mean, in other episodes, I can get into what decluttering even looks like. But for me, there's things that just kind of pile up around the house over the week. So I just run around the house and, for example, we have a sea can in the back of our house where we have extra storage space. And there's a bin in the sea can for wrapping paper, gift wrapping, that kind of thing. And so when I had Oakland, and still to this day, we get baby gifts every once in a while. And so some kind of clutter that might come up is I'll have a gift given to me and then there's the bag and the wrapping paper left over. So that might stay on the counter in the laundry room for a couple days. So on Wednesdays, when I have my deep tidy or decluttering time, I would take that out to the sea can. On Thursdays, I take out the garbage and I clean the bathrooms. Fridays, this is my bigger kind of chore day, so I have a little bit more extensive chores just because on Saturdays it's my rest day, so I like the house to feel extra clean on Friday. So on Fridays, I vacuum, I mop, and then I wash my husband's laundry again. And then on Saturday, like I said, this is our rest day and our Sabbath, so we don't do any chores or work on that day. So now that you have my daily home anchor task system as an example for you to go off of, I need you and would like you to create a routine that you can adjust over time. Remember that routines can change as life does. If you find that one day you put too many anchor tasks on that day and you just aren't able to be getting them all done in one day because maybe one of the chores is a bigger chore than the other, then you can switch it around. Remember, the whole point of this system is so that it can be flexible and you can customize it to what your needs are and to what suits your family specifically. This is also something you can customize for multiple roles. Like, for example, I have my home anchor tasks, my hat, and then I also have business anchor tasks because I do this podcast. I'm also right now taking school, and there's just business things I need to take care of. So I have my home anchor tasks. Every day I have 2 to 3 tasks, like I said, that I know that I need to complete in the home. And then I have the same thing for my business. So just to give you a quick example of what that would look like, today is Monday, and on Monday, my business anchor tasks are podcast planning. So I create an outline for the episode that I'm going to record in a couple weeks, because I'm always a couple weeks ahead. And then I also record a podcast episode. So I know every Monday, those are the business tasks that I do. And then Tuesday, I have different tasks, Thursday, etc. So if you're balancing multiple roles, like maybe you're homeschooling, or maybe you really like working out and you would like some workout anchor tasks, you can come up with different tasks that work for you for those reasons. Like you could have a leg day on Monday and treadmill on Tuesday and stretching, cardio on different days for a workout kind of anchor task routine. Like I said, before I had this whole system of daily home anchor tasks, my daily business anchor tasks, it was so much harder for me to feel grounded, and it was so much more common for me to feel squirrely, where I was like, sit down at the computer to work. I knew that I might have had 30 minutes during Oakland's nap time or an hour, because during her naps is when I do my business stuff. And I'd be like, okay, I know I have an ultimate to-do list of what needs to get done, but I don't know what to focus on right now. And it's the same thing with the home. You're like, okay, my home's a mess. There's windows that need to be washed and I need to clean out the fridge and all of this kind of stuff, but I don't know where to start. So that's why this anchor task system is really important, and it's also just been amazing for me because it helps keep me, like I said, grounded. I wake up and I know, okay, this morning I'm going to work on these 2 tasks or these 3 tasks of the day that I have every Tuesday. It's the same, every Wednesday, the same tasks. And then if I get those tasks done early and I end up having extra time, like, wow, extra time, what's that even like? I can move on to other projects. And if I don't get it all done for the day, you know what? That's okay. We just kind of sometimes have to get to the place and the mindset where it's okay to not do it all. It's okay to not always cross everything off the to-do list. For example, today I made myself a to-do list beyond anchor tasks that I have. And there were 9 things on this to-do list. And I was actually pretty productive today, and I got 8 of those 9 tasks completed. But for some reason, this is my toxic trait. I looked at my list, I saw the check marks for all the things I got done, and then I saw the one task that wasn't completed. And I thought, wow, you are a failure. But why do we do this to ourselves? So this is something that I'm really working on, is getting over the mindset of having to do it all, having to be super mom, having to just be able to somehow have all of this extra time in our day and burn ourselves out in the process. It's more about progress over perfection, ladies, okay? So since you're really new to this, if you haven't heard of this before, which I'm sure you haven't because I've never shared of it before and I've never seen this online anywhere else, don't get down on yourself if you struggle to keep it. Remember, it takes like 21 days for a habit to start. And with this anchor task system, what we want it to do is to become a habit. We want you to eventually memorize every Tuesday you do this, every Wednesday you do these tasks, so that it just becomes a part of your routine and it's just natural for you. And that's something that it's become for me. And like I said, I don't even have to think twice about it. So that's my goal for you. Today for your homework, what I want you to do is, like I said earlier, I want you to make that list and I want you to determine your non-negotiables for each week, the tasks that need to be done, and then start deciding what those anchor tasks are going to be for you for each day. And I actually would highly recommend that you have at least one rest day. That has been a key successor to why I don't have so much overwhelm, as I have a reset day, a pause day. If you're not sure what tasks you should start with, just try experimenting, see what works and what doesn't work, see what feels good, what just doesn't feel like it's working really good too, and then see what's most rewarding. For me, taking out the garbages and vacuuming is rewarding. It makes the house feel really clean. So for you, that might be something else. Just pick something that's going to be rewarding, pick something that's going to make the house feel clean. And there's also just one other thing I wanted to add. This last week, I was interviewing a bunch of ladies for the schooling I'm in. It's actually a business school, which is helping me with this podcast so that I am putting out content that you ladies are interested in hearing. And it was just so interesting for me to hear about all these women that I've interviewed, the things that they struggle with. And when I was interviewing them, I was like, wow, I am just so excited to share about my anchor task system on my podcast, because I know it's really going to help so many women. So the reason I bring that up is if you're feeling like you're just hitting a wall, you need some help, or you're really struggling in a certain area, feel free to reach out to me in an email at hello@jynaeschmid.com. I'll spell that out. hello@jynaeschmid.com. I would love to hear from you. And when I hear from you and I know the things that you're struggling with, it better helps me to know what kind of content is being, what's in demand. What are people hoping to hear from on this podcast? Because that's why I want to show up here, is to make sure that I'm helping you with these pain points that you're having. I want to help you reach those desires that you think about, but there's stresses in life that I know that you're struggling with. There's little things, there's roadblocks that are in the way and you just don't know how to get around them. Email me, let me know about them so that I can come up with systems or share systems with you that are already working for me, so that we can help you create that safe haven, that home sanctuary for you and your family. Now, before I wrap up this episode, to give you a quick summary of the key points we talked about today, because I know that was a lot, the first thing that we went over was we identified the non-negotiable tasks, or we talked about how you need to identify your non-negotiable tasks that are going to be done and assigned to each day of the week, with the exception of one rest day. Then the next thing we talked about was assigning 1 to 3, at least have one, but have no more than 3 anchor tasks that you'd assign to each day. Like I said, preferably with the exception of one rest day. And the reason we do this is because it gives a simple structure and rhythm throughout the week when you have that set, specific, focused task that you need to focus on each day. The third thing that we talked about is adjust this as needed. You're going to take a little while before you fall into a rhythm with this and you feel like it's comfortable and like it just goes with you. It just meshes nicely. So remember that these anchor tasks aren't something that have to be set in stone. You can feel free to change them up as you need, or as your schedule changes, or if you found that, like I said earlier, this isn't working for you, you just switch it around. Trial and error is going to be your friend in this, okay? And the last thing we just quickly went over was separate your anchor tasks based on if you have multiple roles that you're carrying. Obviously, if your only thing that you have to focus in a day is just the homemaking tasks and making sure that your family is taken care of, then you can keep it simple and just have your home anchor tasks. But if, for example, you're homeschooling or you have a business on the side of any sort, you might want to have anchor tasks for those. Remember, I have hat home anchor tasks and bat business anchor tasks for myself. So that pretty much sums it all up. If you felt like this episode today was incredibly helpful and has got you excited with coming up with a system that is going to work for you, I would love it if you could take a screenshot of this episode and send it to a friend who you believe would benefit from this concept of having daily anchor tasks, because I know that it was a big game changer for me when it came to help me eliminate that squirrel brain. So that's all for today, friend. Stay tuned for more tactical episodes coming up in the future on home routines and systems that have helped me to flourish in my own home and help me defeat the chaos and overwhelm for good. I can't wait to see you next week. I'll see you then. Before you go, if this podcast has encouraged or helped you in any way, the best way that you can show your support is by subscribing to the show and leaving a written 5-star review. Your words truly make my day and remind me why I love sharing here. You can also snap a screenshot of this episode and share it with a friend or post it to your Instagram stories. Make sure to tag me at Her Stable Home. Thanks so much for listening, friend. I will see you next time.